lefty.
Wow, can't wait for this. So a little tease on the pitching scouting report. Nice, never before done. And we are underway. The first pitch, a strike to B.J. Upton. You have to take your time with Tim McClellan behind the plate. Highly respected umpire, but he's not in any hurry to bring that arm up. The 0-1. And the count 0-2. Last two starts, Andy's only gone 10 innings. He's given up 13 hits, all singles. But he has labored. He's worked hard to get out of innings. And the pitch. Inside.
You can bet, Michael, that Andy is well aware of his first inning troubles. Wants to be really aggressive. This leadoff hitter Upton, who's a hot hitter coming in, is a big key to the first inning for Andy right here.
Upton 11 for his last 27, but he swings and misses and strikes out to start the game.
Well, this is what you want to see from Andy. Just bury that cutter above the belt. Good location. Coming in hard and high. Late movement. Posada setting up inside. Nice pitch. But that's the way you try to finish a righty.
There's Carl Crawford, another guy you want off the bases. And there's a strike. .34 stolen bases, and he's been caught 3 times. One by Posada. Now it's fouled away. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. Pettit deals the 0-2. Grounded through for a base hit. So Crawford is on as Swisher will get the ball in. Let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. 72 degrees, 59% humidity. Wind is 10 miles per hour, and there's a chance of some late showers. Hopefully we avoid that. Be interesting to see a great base stealer against a pitcher with a great move. And there's a strike. Longoria pinch hit yesterday and grounded out to end the game against Mariano Rivera. The previous day pinch hit was intentionally walked. Tied with Jason Bay for first in the American League with 55 runs batted in. Nice block by Posada. You hope that he's 85-90% of you, the Rays, but this is him running on the last out of the game. That doesn't look like 85 or 90%, David.
That's a guy who's just being super protective of his leg. Very valuable commodity to the Rays, and you certainly don't want to come in a pinch hitting situation late in the game and re-aggravate your injury.
Crawford seems a little puzzled with the move early. The first pitch he was heading back to first. That time he didn't know what was going on. Hesitated before he headed back. Maybe setting up a ruse. And again.
Little trick move from Andy here. A little quick, like he slide step into home, drops the foot. Had Crawford leaning pretty close. You see Crawford take that step. A little different look from Andy Pettit. He usually features normally a high leg kick.
He's coming close. Crawford has not yet read that move.
Well, Andy really hasn't broken out his real good move yet as well. You know, a little abbreviated slide step and quick throw, and that one there is probably his B move. He's got a better one, and Crawford, as you said, Michael, still hasn't seemed to get a read on him.
That time he had the slide step, and the count 1-2, so he's varying that as well. Did you find that the slide step took something off your pitch?
I had trouble doing it. You see Andy there, just a little quick slide to home plate. It was trouble for me. I used to lose stuff on my pitches, Michael. Andy obviously threw a good pitch here. He's not having any trouble with it at all.
Looks like he's got pretty decent stuff today, as that one's fouled off. I know it's early, but last 2 games you can see right away that he was struggling and laboring. Tim McClellan is the home plate umpire. He's a crew chief. Andy Fletcher at first, Adrian Johnson at second, and Scott Barry is at third. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Longoria down on strikes, 2 away.
Get a look at the sequence here, Michael, and see what you're talking about with the stuff. Sharp, right on the outside corner, down with the changeup. Good cutter down and in. Another one inside. Longoria can't seem to get it. Takes a little off of his slider. Breaking ball. Watch Longoria way out in front. Good variance and speed. Good location.
Here's Carlos Pena. I think during your pitch-by-pitch sequence there, David, I saw Tommy Lasorda sitting behind the plate. Just could pick him out of a crowd.
Did he have a hot dog in his hand?
No, he didn't. He had a phone. There he is. Hall of Famer Tommy Lasorda. And they try to come inside on Pena and they clip him. 2 on. Yankees have pretty much handled Pena 1 for 7 in the series.
Pena's on the dish, but you can see Pettit with that slide step trying to come in, making sure he wants to get it in there on Pena, who can do damage with power. And obviously, he erred on the side towards the hitter as opposed to leaving it over the middle of the plate.
Second time that Pena's been hit in the series.
Once again, Andy finds himself in trouble in the first inning. Had a promising start against B.J. Upton and a strikeout of Longoria. Now he got a little trouble, and Crawford in scoring position with Zobrist up.
Zobrist has been tough on them. The first pitch low and inside, 1-0. You get that big leadoff triple against Mariano in the 9th inning. Kind of opened the floodgates on Saturday. Andy's not retired the side in order in any of his last 10 starts in the first inning. This will be the 15th pitch of the inning upcoming. Dave, you ever get so frustrated and distracted, like when you're pitching for the Mets, Vince Coleman, that you say, take the bag, I'm worried about the batter?
Yeah, that eventually you've got to give in one way or another. And me, obviously, being a right-handed pitcher as opposed to Andy tonight with a good move to first base. But yeah, at some point, I just decided to go after the hitter and let those guys run.
Now the count 3-0.
Especially in this situation, we saw Andy kind of spin around and give Crawford a look on a fake to second. With 2 outs and Zobrist up. This is a situation where you know you can just get the hitter out of, even if Crawford steals third. If you get this guy out, then it's no problem.
3-0. There's a strike to count 3-1. And the 3-1 pitch. And the bases are loaded. So Andy in an immediate jam here against the Rays. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and Joe Dillon coming up.
You can almost sense there that Andy was just, he was not going to give in to Zobrist, as we mentioned, who has hurt the Yankees this year and a hot hitter. Even though Joe Dillon has done some damage so far in the Rays lineup, looks like Andy picked his poison and would rather face this guy than Zobrist.
count 1-0. End of what was originally a 7-game homestand. It's now 6 because of the rain out. Pettit with 19 pitches, 11 strikes. Yankees took 2 out of 3 against Texas, and they split the first 2 here against the Rays. They're 6-1 in rubber games this year. Strike. Count 1-1.
It's a dangerous spot as we see Andy Pettit pitching from the stretch with the bases loaded, with Jacoby Ellsbury having stole home on him earlier this year. So changing his approach.
Soft ground ball going to be a tough play. Jeter charges, fires, got him. And Mark Teixeira, a little high five for Derek Jeter as the captain charges hard and just got Dillon. Ball in the glove just as the foot was coming down on the bag. Slow roller. This is the only play. Jeter fields, fires off balance, and gets Dillon for the final out. Andy Pettit likes it. Yankees coming to bat. The bases, and they do not score in the top of the first. Now Andy Sonnenstein will take his chance against the New York Yankees. Here's the Yankee lineup. Derek Jeter, the captain. The shortstop leads off. Johnny Damon in left. Mark Teixeira at first. Cleaning up and playing third base, Alex Rodriguez. Robinson Cano, the second baseman, will bat fifth, batting sixth. And catching Jorge Posada. Hideki Matsui, hitless in his last 14 at-bats, will DH. Nick Swisher's in right field. He's been red hot his last 9 games. He'll bat eighth and batting ninth. Playing center field is Melky Cabrera.
Here's Andy Sonnenstein on the season. 11 starts, 4-5, high ERA, 7.07, 56 innings, a lot of hits, 78. Only 16 walks, though, and 32 strikeouts. In the Jeep pitcher scouting report, he's coming off a good one. He beat Kansas City in his last start, 6 2/3 with 2 earned runs, and he shuts down the running game. Only 2 stolen bases in his career, 328 2/3 innings, and no free passes. 1 out of 60 batters he's faced leading off this year has he walked.
And the pitch to Jeter. There's a strike on the inside corner. That stat is a little hard to comprehend, David. 2 stolen bases against him, 328 2/3 innings. He's a right-hander. It's hard to believe. It's not as if he doesn't have base runners. And he has a 7.07 ERA, so they're doing something to get on base, but he's not letting them run.
Yeah, he's got a really quick delivery to home plate, kind of a little abbreviated slide step that we saw from Andy last inning. He's one of the quickest to home plate in the league. A big start for Sonnenstein. His last start, as I mentioned, against Kansas City. Only 4 quality starts out of his 11 so far this year.
And Jeter drills one to right center. Kapler back. He's on the track. And in front of the wall, he'll make the play for the first out. Jeter's flirted with that right field homer about 3 times in this series. Just missed. Take a look at the Rays defense behind Sonnenstein. Crawford, Upton, and Kapler left to right in the outfield. Longoria, Brignac, Zobrist and Pena, that's third to first. Hernandez behind the plate. Sonnenstein is on the mound, and they have not played clean defensively, that's for sure. Only the Mariners have committed more errors than the Rays. And that's not the way this team plays. Their starting shortstop is on the DL right now, Jason Bartlett, and he's hitting .379 as well as being an outstanding defender. A lot of injuries for the Rays, and that's why they're 29-29 and in fourth place in the East. 2-1. And if you've been watching the last two games and you see how Madden and his pitching coach Jim Hickey have to juggle the bullpen to squeeze out every last out, might be a long season unless they straighten things out. Popped up, giving chase is Longoria. Runs out of one. It's a classic case, David, of what a difference a year makes. Everybody in the bullpen pitched well last year. Hard throwers, young, threw strikes, but that's not happening this season.
Not so far. You know, in losing Troy Percival, your closer, who was a big part of their bullpen last year in terms of leadership. Percival, not the same stuff he used to have with the Angels back in the day, but real good leader in that clubhouse, and he's missed right now as well.
Lofted into deep center field. Upton turned the wrong way, rights himself, and puts it away for the second out.
See, Sonnenstein's more of a fly ball pitcher. As you see, Johnny Damon gets good wood on it. B.J. Upton gliding back, a little figure eight, no problem. Seen Johnny Damon continue to get a lot of good swings in that bat so far this year, especially at home.
Here's Mark Teixeira, and there's a strike.
Sonnenstein not a power guy. As we see Teixeira's numbers in the last 22 games, smoking.
You know, those numbers jump out at when you consider that he was a non-entity in April. I mean, he didn't do anything. He looked lost at the plate. He was hitting under 200, and now he's at 286, and he has the 17 homers and the 50 ribbies. That one's drilled deep to right field. If it's fair, it's gone. It is gone. See ya. Another home run for Mark Teixeira, and the Yankees lead 1-0. And that is his American League leading 18th home run of the year.
Well, they keep trying to throw him inside, and he's not missing. It's about an 88-mile-an-hour little cut fastball. On the inner third, Teixeira does such a good job of not getting beat in, but also keeping that ball fair in the second deck.
Alex Rodriguez takes a strike. Let's see the landing spot for Teixeira's 18th home run. Midway up in the second deck.
See, he gets some height on his home runs, though, especially when he pulls them like that.
There's a ground ball to short. Tough hop, but Brignac stays with it across the diamond, and that's going to do it. But the red-hot Mark Teixeira puts the Yankees on the board. He takes an inside pitch and drills it inside the foul pole. His 18th home run of the year. His 51st ribby. It's a 1-0 Yankee lead. Look at tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios, over 100 HD channels and the fastest internet. This is Fios. This is big game, big series. A.J. Burnett against Josh Beckett. Now, Yes's coverage will start at 6. We'll take you right up to the beginning of the game. The game will be seen on My 9 at 7. And then after the game, Yes will have coverage again. Michelle Hernandez has a 1-1 count. 1-0 Yankees on Mark Teixeira's home run. Now, David, you did not grow up in New York, so maybe you will not even get this parallel, but a lot of people listening will. A friend of mine who's an editor at Newsday in the sports department wrote me this. He said that Mark Teixeira is the type of guy that you gain an appreciation of how good he is by watching him play every single day, which is what we said. And he said it reminds him of another New York icon, Dave DeBusschere. Now, when DeBusschere played for the Pistons, you knew that he was a good player, but you didn't realize how great he was until you saw him play every single day at Madison Square Garden. I think you're seeing a little bit of that with Teixeira now.
Well, you're seeing the crowd really warm up to him, too. You know, in the opening introductions tonight, he got the loudest cheer, and deservedly so. He got introduced to the Bronx cheer in April here. I'll tell you what, it is completely reversed. He has won this Yankee Stadium crowd over.
Now, you don't want to give too much credit to one person, and I'm sure he'd feel uncomfortable if we bring it up, but you could almost pinpoint when he started his turnaround, the day that Tino Martinez got here, and had a talk with him, because he can identify with what Teixeira was going through, because he took over for Don Mattingly. Charging his A-Rod, and he just gets Michelle Hernandez for the first out. Hernandez stumbled over the bag and thought he was safe, but Andy Fletcher said no.
A good pitch by Pettit and a nice play by A-Rod. Just by a half a step. A-Rod moving a lot better, ranging the last couple of days. It seems to get stronger and stronger every day. Definitely got him.
And Hernandez walking back slowly from first base. He really stretched out to hit the bag, and sometimes you could pull a muscle when you do that. And we'll see if he stays in the game.
It's always that last step, and he almost looks like he hyperextended his right knee as he hit the bag. Watch him stretch right here. Full extension on that right knee, and a little funny land and a little jerk of the knee.
Well, they have Diana Navarro on the bench giving him a night off, but it might not be a night off now. Pitch to Kapler's inside.
Well, Michael, I gave you a little tease in the G Pitcher Scouting Report about Andy Pettit and how he compares and whether he belongs in the Hall of Fame discussion or not. And I'll give you a clue.
All right.
The former Yankee left-handed pitcher who pitched in the 20s and 30s. His nickname was the Squire of Kennett Square in Pennsylvania. Kennett Square is famous for its role in the Underground Railroad. Kind of a free passage to kind of help the slaves go free. Great history in Kennett Square. This former Yankee left-handed Hall of Famer was from Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. Pitched in the 20s and 30s. Was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1948.
Lefty Gomez?
Nope. He also played for the Red Sox, but his best years were with the Yankees. Spent a little time in Philadelphia. He was actually the general manager for the Philadelphia Phillies in 1944. The Squire of Kennett Square.
Wow.
I did some research today, Michael.
Swing and a miss. Kapler down on strikes. All right, so who's the player?
The player is Herb Pennock. Herb Pennock pitched for the Yankees. And his numbers and Andy Pettit's numbers as we get a look here. Good slider, good finish, straight down. That's when you know Andy's getting it going. When he gets on top of that slider. He's got a cutter, they can throw harder, but when he gets that slider going with that depth, that's when you know he's got good stuff. But Andy Pettit's numbers and Herb Pennock's numbers are remarkably similar through the age of 36 years old.
And how long did Pennock play after 36?
He probably had 8 more years.
So he pitched till he was 44.
Well, I think probably 6 more, but he pitched 22 years overall. But I've got some numbers to shoot at you. I'll shoot a few at you here and there. Herb Pennock for his career as a Yankee was 162 and 90. Andy Pettitte is 183 and 103 as a Yankee. Overall in their careers, Ed Pettitte is 220 and 129. Herb Pennock 240 and 162. Very similar. Both of them were 2-time 20-game winners. Herb Pennock won 20 games in 1924 for the Yankees. And in 1926, he was 23 and 11. Andy Pettitte's a 2-time 20-game winner. Won 20 in 96, and he won 20 in 03.
Swing and a miss. And a good comeback inning for Andy Pettitte as Reed Brignac down on strikes. And the Rays go down in order. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Pettitte looks sharp. Yankees lead 1-0. And more on Herb Pennock's comparison to Andy as we move along. He has. You can enter the code online at turkeyhill.com/Yankees. I have Bronx Bombers Sunday. How is it, David?
Nice.
Yeah? I'm going to try some. As Robinson Cano digs in. Do you have to watch me eat? Really? Cano serves one into left field in front of Carl Crawford, who was playing very, very deep. So Cano with a leadoff single.
Robinson Cano sees what he likes on the first pitch. A little backdoor cutter right down the middle. This is Robbie at his best. He takes those fastballs the other way.
Nice. It's good stuff. You want to do the play-by-play, Dave?
Yeah, I'll cover you for a couple innings. It's all right. I got some more Herb Pennock stuff here. So.
Here's Posada. Now, the best part about this is that you've seen us eat, and now Kim Jones on her blog will talk about us eating. So we'll know exactly what we had. Kim blogs throughout the game. And all the secrets of the booth she lets out in her Kimberly Jones blog. Kim, would you like some ice cream yourself? No? Oh, she wants me to eat it. Okay.
Not the first time you've heard that, is it?
No, they usually want me to eat dinner, yes. The 1-0. Sky to left field, giving Chase Crawford toward the line, and he makes the play. And there's one away. Hey, stay tuned during the 6th inning for a message from our friends at the Fox Business Network. A lot of people were talking today about the play that Posada made, breaking up the double play, and you kind of mentioned it right when it happened, that the play is actually maybe stopped before the second baseman. Now, another way that you make that play, and a lot of managers teach this, is that if the guy's standing in your way and you want to break up the double play, you knock him into left field.
Right. You know, in retrospect, looking at that play again, Posada tried. He spun him around. Right. He did spin him around and gave Matsui enough time to get through the bag. And Matsui really, that was the best he's got in terms of being able to run on his bad knees. But Joe Girardi went out of his way in the postgame to say, you know what? Posada did a good play right there. You know, and in retrospect, you know, I have to agree. You know, when I first saw the play, I thought maybe Posada should have stopped. But you know what? He did kind of give him the forearm shiver and spun him around and did save that play.
If he doesn't spin around, he's out. So he makes him do a 360, regain himself, and then throw to first. And here's the play right here. I don't think Posada could have stopped, David. I mean, all of his momentum's carrying him there, so he spins Zobrist around. By the time he readies himself or steadies himself, Matsui is there, and then the winning run or the eventual winning run scores. Matsui fouls it away.
Yeah, Posada would have had to have gotten an early read off the bat in order to try to decide what to do. But you know, Posada has his own leg injuries as well, coming off a hamstring problem. And once you get going, it is hard to stop. So Jorge got it going and decided to go ahead and give the forearm shiver. And I tell you what, it was a good play.
And by the time you can see him running full bore towards second base, by the time he sees where the ball is, it's impossible for him to stop. If he had stopped, then he would have been easily tagged out, then the double play would have been made. So his only alternative was to knock into left field. And he missed on the hard hit, but he did spin him around. That one's popped up, and Longoria will put away Matsui. Matsui now 0 for his last 15. And there's 2 away. Here's Nick Swisher. Over the past week, Nick 7 for 15. That's 467. Third highest average in the American League during that span. The 2 players that are higher, both on the Blue Jays, Lyle Overbay 533 for the week, and Adam Lynn 480 for the week. Blue Jays aren't going away as quickly as I thought they would, and a lot of people thought they would. Continuing to hit, and every 5 days, you know, Roy Halladay is going to put up a victory.
Yeah, I mean, he's that type of pitcher. He can elevate your entire team.
Those are the standings. The Red Sox lost to the Rangers yesterday, so they drop a half game back of the Yankees. Blue Jays 2.5. The Rays 5, and then 9.5 for the O's. So the Yankees will either go 1 game up when they go into Fenway tomorrow night, or they'll be in a dead tie with the Red Sox. That one's driven deep to right. There it goes. See ya. A long home run for Nick Swisher. He's got the stroke back. A 2-run shot. And the Yankees lead 3-0.
I'll tell you what, when Swish lets it go, man, look at that swing. Man, it's short, quick. For a guy who gets a lot of walks and has such a great eye, what a deadly combination. When he sees his pitch, he unloads. Right to the ball, short and quick, and look at that extension he gets. We saw that yesterday, too, in his home runs. He can take a ball outer half and really hook it and drive it.
That's how deep the Yankee lineup is. The number 8 hitter in their lineup has 12 home runs. And here's Melky Cabrera, number 9, and he's hitting .303. That one's driven deep to right field. Kapler back in front of the track. Now he comes in, and he'll put it away. for the final out of the second. But the Yankees scored 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Nick Swisher with his 12th home run, his 39th and 40th runs batted in, and the Yankees lead this one 3-0. Most dramatic, text your vote to 58772. We'll give you the choices after the pitch to B.J. Upton. Pitch is low, 1-0. Number 1, Posada's walk-off single against the Angels. Cabrera's walk-off single against the Twins. A-Rod's walk-off home run against the Twins. Cabrera's walk-off single against the Phils. And Matsui avoiding the double play. We just showed you that. And that was yesterday against Tampa Bay. Again, text your vote to 58772. Well, Andy Pettitte has 4 strikeouts in 2 innings. He struggled in the first inning, but the Rays left the bases loaded without scoring. Top of the order now, Upton, Crawford, and Longoria. And a strike.
Well, this
on the Modell's scoreboard, 3-0 Yankees. Modell's the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees.
Well, this is where you really start to smell it. Andy's got a 3-run lead, 2 spot in the last inning. Gets a call there from Tim McClellan, home plate umpire, to stay in this at bat. But this is early in the game. This is when you really want to make a statement. When you get a goose egg on the board here at the top of the 3rd, and you get your team in the dugout and back swinging the bats again.
Grounded to first. Nice play there by Teixeira. He will flip to Pettitte covering. 1 away.
See Andy Pettitte. Andy Pettitte for a lefty, kind of falling off a little bit. Finishes up good. Gets a break. Teixeira, great range. Upton running. Pettitte's got a skedaddle to get over there and makes it in plenty of time. We've seen Teixeira with range to both sides, going to the line. Here's Andy. Boy, he knows Upton's running. Upton kind of gliding. Andy got a pretty good jump there.
And now there's some trouble as Gene Monahan and Joe Girardi come out to check out Pettitte. And Pettitte's been bothered by a sore lower back, but he kind of dismisses them. So Monahan and Girardi head back. And Cheater and A-Rod kind of made fun of Pettit. Ball players are unforgiving.
Very unforgiving. Jeter's going to get right into Pettit's face and let him know.
Hot shot and pass Jeter into left field for a base hit. So Crawford's 2 for 2 against Pettit.
Saw Crawford get a hit inside and pull it in the hole, this time away, and Andy probably is a little up and out over the plate more than he wants, trying to go down and away, but that's the improvement of Carl Crawford this year. Ball away, lines it in the third base hole in between short and third, and his previous at bat he goes in the first base hole between first and second. So he's really a tough out this year and getting better and better, and Joe Madden, the manager of the Rays, really thinks his best years are ahead of him. He's really coming into his own.
Going to bring up Evan Longoria. Now, Joe Madden, the Rays manager, told Kimberly Jones when he sent Longoria up the pinch hit yesterday, they specifically told him, under no circumstances do you bust it out of the box. They really sent him up there to pinch hit and hit a home run. But today, there are no restrictions. They want him to play ball. Now, he hurt the left hamstring on Tuesday. He's been limited since then, has not been in the starting lineup. He did pinch hit on successive games against the Yanks. And now he's finally starting. Now Gene Monahan coming out. It's like Posada got something in his eye.
Well, Michael, I was here all day, as you see. A little dirt right up in the eye. A little foul ball off the end of the bat, straight down off of Longoria's bat. Kind of like a golfer in the sand bunker. Little blast shot right in your eye. I was here all day, Michael, doing this research. It's Herb Pinnock stuff, and baseballreference.com, great website. Do a lot of research on that website.
I worry about you with idle time. I really do. But you put it to good use today.
I do. I've got a few more little nuggets I'll throw at you throughout the game.
The 0-1.
Give you some other similar pitchers to Andy Pettit's career real fast right here, if you think about it. Some names you'll know. Mike Mussina, through the age of 36. Bob Welsh, Frank Viola, Kevin Brown, Jack Morris, Tom Glavine, Jimmy Key, Kevin Appier, Herb Pinnock, and Warren Spahn. All with very similar numbers.
At this stage.
At this stage of their career. And as I said before, Herb Pinnock inducted into the Hall of Fame. If you compare their career numbers. Pettit at 220 and 129 with a 630 winning percentage in his career. Herb Pinnock 240 and 162 with a 597 winning percentage. So just looking at those numbers, Michael, you'd have to say, you know what? A lot of people don't talk about Andy Pettit making a Hall of Fame run here, but he should be in that argument, especially considering the fact that he might pitch a few more years. Off to a decent start this year. We'll see how he finishes up. But he's not
that's
done.
A big question mark. I mean, because he seems to be going year to year. He doesn't know how much longer he wants to go. And I think the draw this year was to pitch in this new ballpark. 2-2.
Well, I'm not saying Andy Pettit's a Hall of Famer. And I'm probably a little biased because obviously a former teammate of mine. But I think his numbers will surprise you when you compare him to other Hall of Fame pitchers. That was the whole point of my comparison here. Herb Pinnock was 5-0 in the World Series, though, Michael, with a 1.95 ERA. Never lost a game in the World Series, pitching for the 20s and 30s Yankees.
They didn't lose too many games in the World Series.
They did not.
And he's had a weird postseason career. Swing and a miss. Longoria down on strikes. He's been lights out in some games and other games. We talked about this the other day. Game 6 in 2001, he got hammered because they were picking up his pitches. So he's been either very, very good or very, very bad. Never right in the middle.
Yeah, his career postseason record is 14-9 with a 3.96 ERA. 3-4 in 7 World Series games. Carlos Pena particularly has been tough on Andy Pettitte in his career. 11 for 33 versus Pettitte with 4 home runs. We'll give you the scouting report right there. As I just said, tough on Pettitte. 4 career home runs, 11 for 33. Sit and spin. He's got that style of hitting. No stride almost. Sits on that back leg and just spins his hips, and he can really turn on fastballs. And obviously defensively, he's a gold glover, a left-handed first baseman, kind of a lost art. Think back to Don Mattingly, Keith Hernandez, maybe not quite in that category, but very good at first base.
Going to be a nice battle for the Gold Glove this year between Pena, Youkilis, and Teixeira. 3 outstanding defenders. Teixeira's won 2, Pena 1, and Youkilis 1. Last year it was hard for Teixeira to win it because played more than half the season with the Braves and then went back to the American League with the Angels. Two outs into the 3rd inning. Andy with 52 pitches. He had a high pitch count in the 1st inning. He's at 54. We're up to date. The scoreboard's a little off.
Hard to believe. Andy Pettitte made his debut April 29th, 1995. This is his 438th career start in the big leagues. As you said, Michael, Carl Crawford just not picking up Andy. Andy doing a good job of mixing up his looks to home plate. Combination of his A move, high leg kick move to first, and a slide step.
Two. He struck him out. 6 strikeout for Pettitte over the first 3 innings. 2 more this inning. No runs a hit. No errors. 1 man left. He strikes out Longoria. Led by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. Not quite nightfall yet here in the Bronx as we go to the top of the 3rd inning on the Modell scoreboard. Yankees lead 3-0. And Modell's is the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees. Teixeira, a solo home run in the first. Swisher, a 2-run home run in the second. Derek Jeter will start it off. He drove Gabe Kapler back to the warning track in the first inning. Derek in a little bit of a slide now. He's 1 for his last 14. Had a really good road trip, so his average is at 305. Fouled away. What a week for the New York Yankees. You got 3 games at Fenway, and then you come home and you play the Mets 3 games here at Yankee Stadium. So no rest for the weary whatsoever. The Yankees in the stretch are playing 17 games in a row. Although they did have the rain out, kind of broke that stretch. They were here at the ballpark on Friday. Shattered bat. You never see Jeter break his bat like that. And there's one away. Kind of sawed off right at the handle.
Jeter looks a little stunned about it too, like maybe that bat was cracked or what happened. Thought he put a pretty good swing on it, got it off the end of the bat, and the bat just came in two.
David, you saw Yankees Red Sox from both sides. Is it as intense as the fans make it out to be?
Oh yes, it really is, especially when the pennant race starts to take shape later in the year, and certainly more important now because the Red Sox have beaten the Yankees 5 straight times. And so the Yankees got to go back to Fenway.
These are the starting matchups in the series. Burnett and Beckett tomorrow, Wong and Wakefield Wednesday, and Sabathia and Penny on Thursday.
Joe Girardi made mention in the pregame show about Wong pitching in Fenway and referenced last year's start. One of the best starts of his career for Chen-Ming Wong came at Fenway Park last year, and he dominated a complete game. Game that we did last year, Michael.
That one's driven out to left center field. B.J. Upton on the run, going back in what used to be Death Valley. He puts it away for the second out. In the first inning, Mark Teixeira took a pitch on the inside part of the plate. Kept the hands in and then just drilled it. The Coors Light freeze cam freeze it right there, right before contact. And when bat meets ball, well, he didn't keep the hands in. That was actually a nice level swing to drive it home. We've seen over the past week, David, people just crushing, or not people, Teixeira crushing fastballs, and they keep feeding him fastballs. Now there's an off-speed pitch. And I guess that's a product of Alex Rodriguez hitting behind him.
That's a big part of it, without a doubt. We saw a lot of off-speed pitches early in the year in April to Teixeira, and he seemed to have trouble staying back. We even saw Joe Madden, the manager of the Rays, the other day when Dan Wheeler threw him a high fastball, almost reading his lips, saying, why are they throwing him a high fastball? Teixeira's got that home run stroke, especially from the left side. Just a slight uppercut swing, as we saw on that freeze cam. I used to talk to Ralph Kiner, the Hall of Famer and the broadcaster with the Mets, and one of my all-time favorites, Michael, Ralph Kiner. He talked about Ted Williams' hitting book, and that actually the swing is a slight uppercut. People talk about a level swing, and actually you have to swing on plane. We saw Teixeira there almost on plane because every pitch goes from high to low. You see there, see that finish, just a slight uppercut swing, which generates all that power. And the reason that you have to swing on plane, according to Ralph Kiner, as opposed to a level swing, is because every pitch has a little arc on it. It goes high to low.
That one's grounded to first. Ping is there. And that's going to do it as they retire Teixeira. Yankees go down in order, 1, 2, 3. We go to the fourth inning here at the stadium. Andy Pettitte with 6 strikeouts. He also has a 3-0 lead. Well, we go to the fourth inning. Yankees lead the Rays 3-0. It'll be Zobrist, Dillon, and Hernandez as the Yankees lead 3-0. Andy Pettitte with 2 strikeouts an inning. Count 0-1. Zobrist was the last visiting player to hit a grand slam at the old Yankee Stadium. And there's a hot shot, bobbled by A-Rod. He scrambles after it. No play. That should be an E5. We'll see how it's scored.
Zobrist gets a changeup a little out in front and a short hop for A-Rod. Just can't come up with it. Kind of handcuffs him off the heel of the bat. You see just off the end of the bat a little bit from Zobrist, a little hump back to that line drive, and a short hop that handcuffs A-Rod.
Six straight games with an error for the Yankees after 18 straight without one. And that one gets away from Posada. Zobrist off quickly, goes to second. So a wild pitch. That one's driven into right center field. Swisher and Cabrera. Swisher makes the call on the catch as Zobrist tags and moves to third. Hey, it's time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. Carl Crawford leads the American League with 34 stolen bases this season. Who's the last Yankee to lead the American League in stolen bases? I think I know that one. I might be wrong. They usually am.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
I think he is. If that's the guy I'm thinking of, I know he is. Grounded up the middle, Hernandez picks up an RBI single as Zobrist scores. So the Rays are on the board thanks to that E5 and the wild pitch. An RBI for Hernandez, and it's 3-1 Yanks.
See A-Rod right there, upset with himself, almost taking the blame. Backdoor slider from Pettit. Hernandez right back up the middle. Looks like he's running a little gingerly down to first after his last at bat when he came up lame after hitting the bag. Well, that was some quick damage. If you're Andy Pettit on the mound, you're thinking about it. You see Hernandez trying to get down the box and maybe favoring that knee just a little bit. When you get a base hit, that pain goes away. You got an RBI.
Almost mincing steps toward first. Michelle out of the Yankees farm system. Now the backup catcher. That one's grounded foul.
Just some quick damage. Andy throws a little changeup off the end of the bat, handcuffs A-Rod, then a wild pitch, next pitch, and Joe Dillon, who's gotten a lot of good at-bats, drives the ball to right center, moves the run over to third, base it up the middle. Now it's 3-1. Just that fast.
Kapler struck out in the second. That one's drilled to left but foul.
Michael, you see the Diamondback game last night in the Padres?
I did. I saw highlights. I did not actually watch the game.
Wow, 18 innings. Incredible game.
And the Diamondback bullpen, that's kind of been maligned. And pitching, in essence, a no-hitter, right?
The extra frame, yeah, the second game, the second 9 innings through 18 were no-hit innings from the relievers of the Diamondbacks.
Count 2-2, and then it was a position player who gave up a 3-run home run. And the Diamondbacks beat the Padres. 65th pitch coming for Andy Pettit. He's only gone 5 in each of his last 2 starts.
Andy Pettit, obviously, with Hernandez at first, not running very well as a catcher, and also kind of a little bit of a tricky knee. Looking for a ground ball right here. Been so good at pounding that cutter in and getting ground balls.
Just missed outside. Andy wanted that one.
Chooses to go for the backdoor slider, try to strike him out looking. Very close. McClellan sees it around the plate. Kapler with a good eye.
Pitchers want that one.
I'll tell you, I got a lot of those called strikes in my career, that's for sure.
3-2. That one's drilled deep to left field. Damon back, turning, looking. Tie game. See ya. A 2-run home run for Kapler. And the Yankees and the Rays are tied at 3. So the 2-2 pitch that he didn't get called a strike turns out costly as Kapler delivers the next one into the seats.
This is what Kapler can give you. You see Posada setting up in, and Andy just doesn't quite get it in there on a 3-2 pitch. Got to almost throw a strike. Kapler sitting on it, it looks like, and he's quick in, and he does have some pop.
Kapler's first home run since September 7th of last year.
We talked about before the game, Andy Pettit has only given up 1 home run on the road this year. Now he's given up 8 here at Yankee Stadium.
Foul back. Tries to pull an outside pitch and dribbles it slowly to Cano. And Brignac busting it out of the box. Gets thrown out for the second out.
Michael, I talked to Andy Pettit about what's going on at Yankee Stadium this year and his mindset. You can almost see right back on the mound, okay, you got a second out, so you just gave up a home run, but you have to resign yourself to the fact you're going to give up home runs in this ballpark this year, but you're also going to get, with the Yankee lineup, a lot more hit for you than you probably are going to give up. So even though it's disappointing, he just gave up a game-tying home run here in the top of the fourth. He's still in good shape. Get out of this inning. You know the Yankee lineup's got a chance to hit some more home runs today or score some runs for you. You just have to resign yourself to that fact.
And Andy said earlier, he said, I don't care about the home runs. He says, as long as they win the games that I pitch, I don't care if I win them. As long as the team wins the games that I pitch. And I guess a bettor can feel like that. He's made his money, he's compiled his records. Be different with younger pitchers. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle it. ERA is a big thing, especially when you go in for contract negotiation.
Gabe Kapler's got to feel pretty good about that. Hit 177, as we said before, his first home run since last year. Probably a guy feeling like his job's not too secure right now. That home run might have saved him. Good guy in the club, so could do a lot of different things, play a lot of different positions. But that's a big home run for him right here at the tail end of his career, trying to hang on.
And the 2-2. And the count full of 3-2. And here's the payoff. Just missed, so Upton gets on him. One thing that's happening here, his pitch count's going way up, and it looks like another 5-inning performance the way it's turning out for Andy Pettit as Dave Island will jog to the mound. Now, Andy obviously will want to stay in there up to 120 pitches, but Girardi's not going to push it to that point. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. .77 right now, 46 strikes. And the pitch. Count 1-0. Crawford 2 for 2 against Andy. 2 singles, 1 to right, 1 to left.
Crawford's a career .296 hitter and over 4,000 at bats during his career. Coming in, obviously hitting .329 right now.
Count 1-1. .25, 25th pitch this inning coming up. 80th of the game. High fly ball, left center. Cabrera over, he'll make the play. But the damage has been done, and an error by A-Rod didn't help. Gabe Kapler with a 2-run home run. 3 runs for the Rays in this inning. And it's now a 3-3 game. Throw it back. question is, Carl Crawford leads the American League with 34 stolen bases this year. Who's the last Yankee to lead the American League in stolen bases? I thought it was Ricky, but they tell me no. It was Alfonso Soriano, 41 in 2002. And I think that was the year he ended up with 39 home runs. He wanted to be a 40-40 guy so desperately. I think it kind of knocked his swing out of whack and did not perform well in the playoffs. Alex Rodriguez, 0-1 count. So Sonnenstein has a new life as his team scores him 3 runs, and that rally started with the E5 by A-Rod. Count 0-2. Line drive. Longoria makes a play on one hop across the diamond. 1 away.
Andy Sonnenstein was a big part of the rotation last year for the Rays. He was 13-9 with a 4.38 ERA in 08 and pitched well in the postseason.
Pitch outside.
See Cano on the game, 1 for 1. One thing about Sonnenstein, he's got good control, but on the first pitch, as we saw Robbie the last time, taking it now. He's had trouble on first pitches. 379 average on the first pitch the batters see in his career batting average against on Andy Sonnenstein. Some of these guys with good control, you try to, that first pitch might be the best one you see.
Driven out to center field and deep. Up and back. Well, he just drifts back nice and easily, and he puts it away for the second out. So Cano 1 for 2. You know, this is so off the beaten path, David, but it's something I feel so strongly about. You see BJ Upton out there, and he's got this whole lip full of snuff or tobacco, and it's illegal in the minor leagues. They don't allow minor leaguers to use it. But kids watch games and they see big league ball players. I'd love if they outlawed it in the major leagues. And I know they're adults and they could do whatever they want, but just the fact that kids watch the games and emulate their idols, I don't know why they do it.
Are you sure that's snuff?
Whatever it is. I don't know what it is.
Could be sunflower seeds, too.
I don't know. There's a ground ball to second base. Zobrist is there. Let's hope it's sunflower seeds. And that's the final out as the Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3. We go to the 5th. Take it out of your mouth, BJ. It's 3-3. Think so, David?
There you go. He's got a smile on his face. So.
Let's ask him now. And the pitch Longoria is outside 1-0. The Lexus scoreboard, it's 3-3, 3-4-0 Tampa Bay, 3-3-1 for the Yanks. Pettit deals. And the pitch outside. And Longoria walks on 4 pitches. Hey fans, now's your chance to own a piece of history from the original Yankee Stadium. Seats and other memorabilia now on sale at Yankees.com. All memorabilia comes with a Yankee Steiner letter of authenticity. For more information and to purchase original Yankee Stadium seats and other memorabilia, visit Yankees.com today and click the Shop tab.
Certainly not the start to this inning that Andy was looking for after giving up 3 runs and the lead in the top of the 4th.
What's happened to him, David? Because he had great stuff the first couple of innings, and now it seems like it's unraveling.
Well, you know, it's really one pitch to Kapler. You know, A-Rod made an error on a tough play, then a wild pitch, and then a move him over, and then you got 1 run on the board. But the one pitch to Kapler on a 3-2 cutter in that Kapler beat him on. That's really his game right now. But to come out in the next inning and walk Longoria on 4 pitches is not a good start to this inning. He's still got a chance to pull it back in. Carlos Pena, as we've said before, has been tough on Pettit throughout his career. 4 career home runs against Andy Pettit. Still got a chance. You know, you still got a chance to get a little deeper in this game, even though his pitch counts at 86 right now. Can't afford another long inning, though.
The 0-2. Struck him out. So he gets Pena for the 2nd time tonight on strikeouts. And Carlos 1 for 9 against the Yanks.
This is a good 0-2 pitch. Breaking late, about 6 inches off the plate and down. Watch Posada's glove. Right to it. Even a little foul tip. Pena cannot reach it. That's going after a guy 0-2, you know, not a waste pitch. A very enticing pitch that breaks late off the plate.
Zobrist's going to get quite a run with the injury to Iwamura. And he's done a lot with his time. He's kind of like a super utility guy. Madden would use him in the outfield, all the infield positions, but now he's been playing some short with Bartlett out and filling in at second. Well, Iwamura, David Robertson beginning to throw for the Yanks. And the count 1-2.
Zobrist, a switch hitter with pop versus left-handed pitching this year in 47 at-bats. Hitting 362 with 3 home runs.
And a base hit for Zobrist. Moving to second is Longoria. I think it's probably going to take an extra base hit to score Longoria with that bad hammy.
See Pettit here in the sequence. A good slider down and in. Fastball misses away. Another one. Trying to come in with a cutter, and Zobrist just beats him to the spot. See how quick Zobrist is. Brings his hands in. Just gets the barrel of the bat on it and a line drive.
First and second. Here's Joe Dillon with 1 out. Now, David, do you think with a veteran like Andy Pettitte that the error by A-Rod could have thrown him off this much?
No, definitely not. I still think his game, depending on what happens this inning, still comes down to the one pitch to Kapler. Obviously the error is unearned. Of the 3 runs, Andy's only got 2 earned runs, but he just missed on the 2-2 pitch to Kapler, and then Kapler beat him. So it's really, his night's a 2-run home run as of now.
And this could be 2. There's 1 on to first. It's a double play. So Andy gets just what he needs and gets out of the inning without any damage. No runs a hit, no errors. Because of this DP, 1 man left on base. Derek does a dance step, goes airborne, fires to Teixeira. The end of 4.5, halfway through, 3-3. Not an easy play to make because he's throwing off the wrong foot to complete the inning-ending 6-6-3 double play. Here's Matsui. And the pitch outside. Matsui popped to a third in the second. And on the Lexus scoreboard, it's 3-3. Now he's 0 for 15. His longest hitless streak in his career was 0 for 16. He's done it 3 times in his career. 1 each in 04, 07, and 03. I'll check that 08. Pitches upstairs. And Matsui walks on 4 pitches.
Matsui was kind of struggling lately, but certainly has good numbers against Sonnenstein as he worked that walk. Matsui's got a couple of home runs coming in, hitting 385 career. Gets on first base, and that brings up the hot-hitting Swisher.
Now, one thing I just want to clarify, I said something about B.J. Upton. I don't just want to pick on the Rays because Nick Swisher does the same thing, and he's obviously got snuff, or hopefully, as David said, sunflower seeds in his mouth. And it's just something that Major League Baseball should try to outlaw. There's a strike. I'm not just saying the Rays, Yankees as well.
I'm not seeing anything in that lip.
Her turn.
You're the tobacco police, huh?
Not good for you, David.
No doubt about that. That's for sure.
I know toward the end of his life, Bobby Mercer was a huge crusader against chewing tobacco. Joe Garagiola has talk to teams about the horrors of it and how it can affect you later in your life. One. Off speed, 1 and 2. You know, I don't think that Nick has any in tonight, which is great. And I will officially drop my crusade.
Snuffed out a fastball on his last at bat and drilled it up into the seats.
That one's a hot shot towards second. Zobrist with a nice play. Goes to second, one on to first. Hits a double play. Not an easy play by Zobrist.
Another short hop. Zobrist, boy, he's showing his athleticism. Does look like he got it by a half step. No argument from Swisher, but that is not an easy play by Zobrist. It almost rolls up his arm and recovers. Matsui's got no chance to get there. Watch Zobrist. This is why they like him. Coming in playing second base every day now, probably. So Iwamura is out with a knee injury. But the one silver lining in all these injuries has been that cat right there, Zobrist. He's a player. He can play anywhere and he's a switch hitter and getting a chance to play every day at second base now.
So many careers are made, David, when a guy finally gets a chance. I mean, somebody's got to get hurt or go into a terrible slump for somebody to get an opportunity. And you got to make the most of your opportunity. And Zobrist has really showed Madden what he could do. I'm trying to think of any real great players in Major League history that last name started with Z. I don't think there are a lot. He might be the best Z ever.
Zambrano?
Zambrano's pretty good.
I'm not talking about Victor.
You're talking about Carlos. Skied the other way, giving Chase Crawford on the run. And he makes a nice play as he runs right into the wall for the final out of the inning. That's a nice play by Carl Crawford, running down that foul drive of the bat of Melky Cabrera. Wall, ball, glove all meet at the same time, and Crawford wins, and Sonnenstein likes it. We go to the sixth inning. Andy Pettit against Michel Hernandez. Ground ball up the middle. Jeter's right there. One pitch, one out.
Michael, we got the big amateur draft coming up tomorrow. The Yankees are going to be picking 29th overall. Be interesting to see which direction they go. Last year they drafted a young high schooler named Garrett Cole, who decided at the last minute not to sign. Young kid with a power arm the Yankees really liked. Thought they'd have a chance to sign him, and obviously did not. Probably the best pitcher the Yankees got last year in the draft was Brett Marshall, a right-handed Texas high schooler. They got in the 6th round, who they're really high on.
Now, Garrett Cole did not sign because the Yankees didn't offer him enough. He decided to go to college.
Changed his mind. Yeah. You know, he kind of gave off signals that he was signable and then changed his mind, which is his right, but certainly left the Yankees a little out in the cold. Kind of reviewing the draft for the Yankees. You know, it's building up as we see Andy Pettitte trying to get this 6th inning out as his pitch count's approaching 100 with Brett Tomko warming up. If you think back, you know, we talked about Garrett Cole in 08 and 07. Andrew Brackman, big right-handed pitcher.
Had Tommy John surgery.
Out of North Carolina State. In the 2nd round, they got a catcher named Austin Romine, a California high schooler who they really like. 06, it was Ian Kennedy and Jabba Chamberlain. Not that long ago, so it'll be interesting to see what the Yankees do tomorrow in the amateur draft.
And the first pick is supposed to be a young man out of San Diego State, Steven Strasburg. And he throws 100 miles an hour. And he's been coached by Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn, who's the head coach at San Diego State. So he's been handled with kid gloves, has not been overextended, as some college programs do. There's a line drive caught by Jeter, 2 away. And Steven Strasburg's advisor, not yet an agent, is Scott Boras. And there are messages going out that the Nationals are going to take him because he's so good, but they want $50 to $60 million to sign him, and the highest price ever given to a #1 pick, I believe, was to Mark Pryor, which was $15 million. So trying to take it into a whole different stratosphere.
Well, he is, as you said, head and shoulders above just about everybody else in the draft, and it's rare that you get that kind of a situation. Think back to the Mets, you know, drafted Darryl Strawberry out of Compton, California, and even Dwight Gooden coming out of Tampa. It's very rare that you just have a consensus pitcher, or any player for that matter, that is so far head and shoulders above anybody else in the draft, as you said with Steven Strasburg.
And the interesting thing is that, you know, the argument for the player is, you know, if he's a free agent, he'd get $100 million. And the argument on the owner's side, well, wait a minute, he hasn't done anything. And if you look at the history of draft picks, most of them don't work out. So why give that kind of money? It's going to be an interesting stare down because the Nationals have kind of been painted into a corner. Things have gone so wrong for them. The 1-2. Wow, that looked like a tennis serve. But Cano makes the play as Andy Pettitte works a strong 1-2-3 6th inning. Time now for a word from our friends at the Fox Business Network. Who but? Well, we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's a 3-3 game. Rubber game of this 3-game set between the Yankees and the Rays. Andy Sonnenstein still in there. He'll face to the top of the Yankee order. Jeter starts it off. Then you've got Damon and Teixeira. Now, Andy Pettit's over 100 pitches through 6 innings. And up in the Yankee bullpen is Phil Hughes. So Robertson was warming, then Tomko. Now Hughes begins to throw. Count 1-0 to Jeter. Count 1-1. Sonnenstein 1-4, 9.79 ERA in 6 starts following Rays losses. And that's what he's doing tonight. Yankees, their runs on home runs. A solo shot by Teixeira in the first, a 2-run shot by Swisher in the second. And the count 2-1.
Sonnenstein liked pitching in the old Yankee Stadium. Even though he doesn't have a long history against the Yankees, he was 2-0 with a 2.57 ERA in 2 starts at the old Yankee Stadium. It's like New York.
Hit sharply to short. Brignac is there. And there's one away. Time for another look at tonight's Toyota text poll. Once again, the question is, the Yankees have come back from trailing out the 7th inning 5 times in Yankee Stadium. Which was the most dramatic? You've been voting at 58-7-7-2, and here's how you voted. 37% of you thought it was the A-Rod walk-off home run against Minnesota. That it was close for second place between Cabrera against Philly and Cabrera against Minnesota. And Posada and Matsui 4th and 5th, respectively.
That was a good post-game interview by Kim Jones. I think they both had some pie on their face in that one, didn't they, Michael?
Yes. Well, some of it got on Kim's shirt, I think. She didn't get any of the mug. The 1-0. Grounded foul. See, the other day when Melky got the big hit against the Rangers, they were looking to pie him, and he ran away. He says he wants no part of it. He doesn't like it. That one is driven to right field. Kapler back. Track. Wall. See ya. Johnny Damon. A home run. 3rd home run for the Yankees. And they lead 4-3.
Johnny Damon gets a hanging curveball by Andy Sonnenstein. About 76 miles an hour. Johnny just kind of hangs on it and turns on it. Sonnenstein's only given up 4 hits, but 3 of them have left the yard.
12th home run for Damon. The first pitch to Teixeira is outside. 1-0. 12 home runs, 34 ribbies. Teixeira with a home run in the first and grounded to first in the third. Count 2-0. A lot of people texting me, David, about great Z's in baseball history. Richie Zisk, Todd Zeal, Ryan Zimmerman, Greg Zahn, Don Zimmer, Gus Zerniel. So Zobrist's got a long way to go to get up with those guys as Teixeira down looking, 2 away.
Don Zimmer may be the famous name on that list.
been at the ballpark with the Rays the last couple of days. Obviously, he's not in uniform, but he's one of their advisors, and usually in uniform, at least at home, before the games. Here's Alex Rodriguez.
Don Zimmer faced Herb Pennock. I have to have a talk with him, Mike.
When'd you say Pennock got into the Hall of Fame in 48?
Yeah, maybe a little
I think he missed him. The 1-0. 2-0. A-Rod with 2 ground balls against Sonnenstein. A ground ball to short and a ground ball to third.
Funny. Did you see Hernandez trying to frame that pitch in the dirt right there? That was kind of funny. Catches a one-hopper and holds it right there, trying to get the call. Watch this. Ball in the dirt. Pull it back and frame it. There it is, right there.
That's almost an insult to the ump.
A little sense of humor. Nothing wrong with that.
Big, healthy cut. The count 2-1. So the Yankees lead 4-3. All of their runs come via the home run. In fact, of the 7 runs on the board, 6 have come off home runs. "29 games here at the new house, 106 home runs. There has not been a homerless game yet of the 29. And here at Tropicana Field, the home of the Rays, the only 2 ballparks in baseball that have not had homerless games. So A-Rod works a walk.
Getting in that point of the game where Joe Madden, the Rays manager, it's a chin scratcher. Bullpen's been used heavily in the Rays lineup so far, and Andy Sonnenstein's only got 78 pitches, even though he's given up 3 home runs. No action in the bullpen as of yet.
78 pitches, 46 strikes. He almost looks at the bullpen with trepidation. You know, what's better, a tiring starter or bringing in the arson squad? A little bit low to Cano. Madden just got a contract extension. He entered this season, final year of his deal, put no pressure on the organization. I understand they could do what they like, and then they extended him a 3-year deal. He's done a nice job here. Took over a franchise that was a laughing stock and had him in the World Series last year. Ground ball up the middle. Zobrist over to Brignac, and that's going to do it. But the Yankees take the lead. How do they take the lead? Johnny Damon, that's how. Took a breaking ball. Sign hung around his neck. Crush me if you can. He did. Gave the Yankees a 4-3 lead. Hey, tomorrow the Yankees start a 3-game set at Fenway, and Yes has extended coverage. It all starts at 6 with batting practice today. That's Chris Sheeran up there. And then the pregame. Then after the game on My 9, come back to Yes for the WB Mason postgame. And Wednesday we'll have complete coverage of Game 2 starting at 6 and the game right here on Yes. You're in the studio for this series, huh?
I am. I'm looking forward to going up there, hanging with the boys. Bobby Lorenz, get the candy jars going. Let's go.
Hey, this call to the bullpen brought to you by AT&T, your world delivered. And how about this? So Andy Pettit goes 6. He can get the win. But now Phil Hughes will work for the first time this year out of the bullpen.
Yeah, we've been looking for an opportunity, as well as obviously manager Joe Girardi and Phil Hughes. They had a call to make. You know, they're going to send this kid back to Scranton, or are they going to use him here? And I tell you what, I'm in agreement. I'm anxious to see how he does out of the pen. I think he could really help the Yankees. One of the reasons is he throws strikes. He's got good control. He's got good stuff. I think his velocity will go up pitching as a reliever. And one of the problems with the Yankees bullpen early this year was just guys being able to throw strikes, and that's never been a problem for Phil Hughes.
Swing and a miss. The thought process is coming out of the pen, more adrenaline, big spot, Phil Coke backing him up in the bullpen. He's actually going to throw harder than 93, 94. You buy that, David?
Well, he already has. 2 first fastballs are 94 miles an hour. We'll see how he does. Phil Hughes has really handled himself so well through all this, saying all the right things. You know, he had some good starts. Chen-Ming Wong has taken his spot.
Grounded to A-Rod. He charges, sets, fires across the diamond. They get the speedy Upton. 1 away. Along with David Cohn, I'm Michael Kay, and you are watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network. We thank you for joining us on this Monday evening. A little wrap-around end of the series game. And we're in the top of the 7th inning with the Yankees leading 4-3. There's a ground ball off the bat of Crawford, right back to Hughes.
That's what you love. If you're a manager, you've got guys in the bullpen that can come out and throw strikes. And here's Hughes with a first pitch breaking ball. Crawford off the end of the bat. Really an easy play for Hughes. And Hughes has always had good control with his fastball and that curveball, that knuckle curve he features. He's shown very good aptitude to pick up that little slider and cutter that he did not have last year. I like the fact that he's still here and still helping the Yankees.
David, you were one of the first proponents of this. Everybody was job into the bullpen, and you actually saw something in Hughes that thought would translate out there.
I really do. I think he can help this team in any role right now. I'm not saying you give up on him as a starter, but I think he's a guy that can really help the Yankees in any role.
I think that we're going to see him in the bullpen as long as you don't see Brian Bruni back. If Brian Bruni comes back and he's starting to feel pretty good, they want Phil Hughes as a starter, and he'll go down to Scranton Wilkes-Barre. He'll be the 6th starter. And they will bring him up if somebody falters or somebody gets hurt. And people usually do over the course of a season. But the thing that worries Brian Cashman and Joe Girardi, the longer you keep him in the bullpen, the harder it will be to transition him back to starter.
Good-looking breaking ball right there from Hughes. You know, and I can understand that side of it, but I still believe you can use this guy to help this team right now and somewhat keep him stretched out. I don't think it's that difficult. He's already stretched out as it is. He's not going to lose it that quickly. You know, Aceves is stretched out for that matter. And Tomko, they've thrown 3 innings recently. Chen-Ming Wong threw 3 innings out of the bullpen. That's almost enough. If you stay at 50 to 60 pitches, it's an easy jump to get back to 75 and then 100 pitches. So it's not like you completely lose him as a starter if he stays up here and goes 2-3 innings at a time. Plus, these are valuable innings right here. 4-3, good spot for him. Coming out smoking these first 2 hitters.
2-2. Just missed with the fastball. 95. Just off the black. 3-2.
Maybe one of the best fastballs we've seen Phil Hughes throw all year right there in terms of velocity. Just off the plate.
Phil Hughes actually was splendid out of the bullpen against the Indians in the playoffs in '07. Swung on and missed. 94. An impressive 1-2-3 inning out of the pen for Phil Hughes. He gets Upton to ground to third. He gets Crawford to ground back to the mound. And then he gets the American League RBI leader on a strikeout. Blew a fastball right by Longoria. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead this one 4-3, but will stay right here and honor America in the Bronx.
Home and around the globe. Now please join Kate Smith as she sings God Bless America.
Four-3 Yankees lead. That was a pretty impressive top of the 7th inning, David.
Well, it really was. I mean, Phil Hughes just came out smoking. Some of the best fastballs we've seen all year from him, along with tight breaking pitches.
That would be some added weapon, an unexpected weapon for the Yankees. So we'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Yankees would like to give their bullpen a little more breathing room, get a couple more runs against Sonnenstein. It'll be Posada, Matsui, and Swisher here in the bottom of the 7th. And the pitch. Fastball high.
You know, the thing about the makeup of the Yankees bullpen is that if you don't have definitive roles in your 7th or 8th inning, and you've got guys like Aceves, Tomko, and now Phil Hughes, you can power right through those roles.
High fly ball, right center field. Kapler on the run. So is Upton. And Upton makes a play right in front of the Yankee bullpen. One away. Well, after the final out, everybody, you have to keep it on yes for the Emmy Award-winning WB Mason postgame. get a recap of the entire series against the Rays and a preview of the upcoming series against the Red Sox. It's the WB Nation postgame, and it's only on Yes.
In other words, Michael, we've seen it work with the Savas. You know, you bring him in the sixth. Yeah, you don't need an eighth inning guy right now. I mean, it'd be great to get Marte and Bruni back.
And Matsui with a ground ball to Zobrist. And Matsui is now tied his career high, going 0 for his last 16.
You know, I had a long talk with manager Joe Girardi about this, and he likes the flexibility he has right now down there. You know, you don't feel like you've got a left-handed specialist for one hitter here and there. You've got guys that can only pitch one inning. You've got three guys that can go 3 innings. You can pitch 3 innings. You can pitch 1 inning. Phil Hughes can pitch the 7th or 8th inning. You know, certainly you want to keep him stretched out in case you need him in the rotation later in the year, which is probably going to happen. You're not giving up on him as a starter, but right now he can really help this team. Joe Girardi's got a lot of flexibility in his bullpen, even though he doesn't have a definitive 8th inning guy.
And the pitch outside to Swisher. Another strike. Sonnenstein continues to throw strikes, count 1-1. And 1-2. 86 pitches for Sonnenstein, 51 strikes. Boy, he really gets locked in. Not much emotion. Laser-like focus as he stares into the sun. And the pitch. Lined right at the shortstop on one hop. Brignac fields off balance. Throw! Not in time. So Swisher with his second hit.
See another short hop rather, to the shortstop. Kind of rides up at the heel of his glove, and Swisher gets down the line. Off the end of the bat, a curveball. Just carries not quite enough. Brignac kind of rolls up his glove. Can't recover in time to get Swisher, get enough on it.
Here's Melky Cabrera. Pitches low. Count 1-1.
So we mentioned the draft coming up tomorrow, Michael. Andy Sonnenstein was a 13th round pick in 04. And we talked about this several times. Yeah, sometimes those number ones don't work out. This kid's a pretty good big league pitcher coming out of the 13th round.
Went to Kent State, same school as Thurman Munson, and incidentally, yesterday was the 62nd anniversary of Thurman's birth. Ground ball, Longoria goes the short way, and they get the force on Swisher, and that's going to do it here in the 7th. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 man left. Let's go to the 8th. Yankees holding a 1-run lead.
Stamp it. Another fastball. Kind of a cutter in. Another moonshot into the second deck. Land Rover drive of the game once again. Mark Teixeira.
Well, the Yankees go to the bullpen again. Phil Hughes perfect. 3 up, 3 down in the 7th. Now they'll go to Phil Koch. So in the 7th and the 8th inning, they're having their fill of relievers. And the left-hander Koch against the lefty swinging Carlos Pena. And Koch has a little hair on the fastball tonight at 94.
Joe Girardi choosing to go match up here after Phil Hughes' very impressive 7th inning. Got a 1-run game, and Pena's a home run hitter.
You think they take Hughes out because they want him to have a great feeling about his first outing?
I think that's part of it. I think it's such a plus. That outing was such a plus for Phil Hughes. He's handled himself so well, and he came out smoking tonight. And then you've got Pena leading off this inning. So Girardi's trying to win this game. You got a 1-run game, you got a home run hitter here, and you want this matchup right here.
Count 2-1. I think Posada's trying to settle down Koch, who really has come out fired up. Coming in throwing gas in the count 2-2.
Phil Koch's got that over-the-top, old-school delivery, full wind-up. Ball really jumps out of his hand a lot quicker than it seems.
Swing and a miss. And Pena has the hat trick. He has struck out 3 times after getting hit by a pitch in the first inning.
Well, I think Phil Koch's especially tough from the windup. Fastball up. Another one up, gets him to chase. Another one up, got to slow it down, gets it right back there. Just nothing but Powder River. But got the last 2 or 3 in good spots, at least on the outside corner and away with some life on it.
Here's Ben Zobrist, dangerous hitter. And a pitch outside, 1-0. And the count 2-0.
You got to force yourself just to slow down 1 tick. Get back on top of the ball with your arm. Sometimes when you're rushing with your lower half, you just don't have time to get your arm on top of the ball and drive it down into the strike zone. That's just straight emotion, a little too pumped up. See, Posada's going to come out, give him a minute just to kind of catch his breath and say, hey, let's go. Slow yourself down just a hair. Drive the ball downhill.
And again upstairs, 3-0. And he walks Zobrist on 4 pitches. Hey fans, tonight throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're allowing you to vote along with the 2 of us here in the booth for the Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772. Tonight's candidates are number 1, Johnny Damon, number 2, Gabe Kapler, number 3, Andy Pettit, number 4, Nick Swisher. Vote now and make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. So, conference with Dave Island. And David Robertson warming. And a strike to Joe Dillon. Check swing, slow roller toward A-Rod. He has one play. He'll make it at first as Zobrist now moves into scoring position.
Well, that's the way you make the pitching coach look good, Michael. You come out, get a visit, and you throw 2 straight strikes and a good changeup. The first one of the game by Phil Koch so far in this appearance. As you see Robertson getting hot. Dave Island, good job there, good visit. Don't know what he said. Gonna give him credit anyway.
Cause and effect, why not? Here's Michelle Hernandez. Tampa Bay 1 for 4 tonight with runners in scoring position. Yankees holding on to a 4-3 lead. There's that changeup. 0-1. Crowd of 44,706 here at the stadium.
Sometimes this is what it takes. As you see, it looks like fastball coming out of your hand. But throw one of your other pitches. For Phil Koch, it's probably that changeup in order to find your release point. Sometimes that helps your fastball as well.
And there's a ground ball left side. Jeter fields. And that'll do it. So Phil Koch is pumped up as he works a scoreless 8th and survives the walk. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 4-3 Yanks. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by IOTV. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV. And by Avis, the official rental car company of the New York Yankees. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Andy Sonnenstein still in there. It'll be the top of the order. Jeter, Damon, Teixeira. And Jeter rips one to right field. Kepler back. Track, wall. See ya. The Yankees' 4th home run of the night. A solo shot. Yankees lead 5-3. David, we have seen Jeter flirt with that right field home run this whole series. He finally connects.
He does. And first pitch swing, and again, you see Sonnenstein trying to come in, and it ends up and out over the plate. And that is the wheelhouse for Derek Jeter. Those are the pitches he really drives when he gets a hold of them. Talked about Sonnenstein coming into this game on the first pitch in his career. Opposing hitters were hitting .393. 57 for 145. Make that 58 for 146. Derek Jeter, first pitch swinging.
Has to feel good for Jeter. He was 0 for 3 before that, and he was 1 for his last 16, but goes yard for home run number 8. Randy Choate and Jason Isringhausen getting hot. And Joe Madden, who tried to squeeze this last inning out of Sonnenstein, is convinced by Jeter's home run that he's going to go to the bullpen. So he calls on the left-hander Choate to try to get out Johnny Damon. So as Choate comes in from the bullpen and Andy Sonnenstein departs, Derek Jeter talks about the home run. You can talk amongst yourselves. We'll be back.
Well, there's Johnny Damon in the 6th inning with 1 out. Big fly. Johnny Damon, number 12 on the year. The Geico play of the game.
Here's Randy Choate, who is one of the battery of closers that the Rays have. When you have a lot of closers, you don't have a closer. 5 games, 3 saves, 2.70 ERA, 4 strikeouts, and 3 1/3. So Derek Jeter with his 8th home run gives the Yankees a 5-3 lead. Sonnenstein can lose, he can't win. And the pitch to Damon is outside. I think this is the role for Choate, David. Obviously, he's coming in to get out lefties. But they've gotten him a role where he does get the save every now and then.
Well, it is. I mean, Joe Madden told us in the first day in when we talked to him about his bullpen that he's just mixing and matching. You know, Randy Choate's found himself with a few opportunities to save so far, but by no means is he the closer.
Whenever you hear the phrase closer by committee, you know the team doesn't have a closer. It's just, it can't work. Remember the Red Sox tried that a couple of years ago? where Bill James thought that, you know, it's overrated having the closer had that one pitcher to get those 3 outs, and then they tried to mix and match. It didn't work. So they went out and they got Keith Folk, who helped them win a World Series in 04. It's a different animal getting 9th inning outs and 8th inning outs. As Damon swings and misses, so Choate gets the strikeout.
With that being said, it's nice to see a good guy like Randy Choate get another shot. I mean, a Yankee teammate of mine, you can see here, slinging that slider in there up the plate. Johnny Damon looking bad. Randy Choate with this kind of delivery can do that to you. That's a big 2-foot sweeping slider. He's quicker than you think he is from that Laredo angle he throws from. He can get it up to 90 miles an hour, and that slider really sweeps off the plate. Pretty hard to fool Johnny Damon like that.
Now they take a chance with him against the righty swinging Teixeira, and the pitch is inside. And the count 2-0. That's always the risk with a sidewinder from either side. It's hard to get the opposite side out because you get such a long book.
Well, that is the angle coming in from a sidearm lefty to a right-handed batter just seems to definitely be seen better from that side of the plate.
David, you grew up watching this guy, Dan Quisenberry. How did he do it?
He actually had trouble late in his career. If you remember back to the playoffs when the Royals played Toronto in '85, that Al Oliver and some of the left-handed hitters on that Blue Jay lineup really wore out Quisenberry. You know, you almost need to come up with a little cutter. You know, Terry Leach, a former teammate of mine with the Mets, came up with what he called a little upshoot, which is a little flat slider that you can get inside on right-handed batters as a left-handed pitcher. For Terry Leach, he was a right-handed pitcher, so to get in on lefties, he learned a little cutter, a little upshoot.
Well, Mark Teixeira gets walked, and now Randy Choate has to deal with Alex Rodriguez. Hey, fans, if you have tickets to see the Yankees and the Mets on Sunday, June 14th, the Yankees ask that you arrive at the stadium early. Why? It's Military Appreciation Day, and there's a comprehensive pregame program planned, including a performance by the Army's Golden Knights parachute team. Now, the ceremonies begin approximately at noon with the Yankees against the Mets to follow at 1:05. So if you have tickets to the game on Sunday, June 14th, please be sure to arrive early. We are going to step aside for just a moment with Alex Rodriguez due up. They want the lefty out. They bring in the righty, Jason Isringhausen, a former closer, setting up here in Tampa Bay. Come on back. Used to be the closer for the St. Louis Cardinals. He'll face Alex Rodriguez. and he was one of Generation K with the Mets. Paul Wilson, Jason Isringhausen, and Bill Pulsifer. And that serves as the cautionary tale why they have pitch counts and innings limits and things like that on young pitchers, because those guys got derailed by injuries. The 1-0. There's a strike.
Isringhausen brought into spring training by the Rays almost as an insurance policy to Troy Percival, and had his arm injuries of his own last year, and in the offseason worked his way back, had a good spring for the Rays, and they decided to keep him around. And, finds himself back in the big leagues, but not quite ready to assume a closer's role as of yet.
Grounded left side. Let's see if they turn two. There's one on to first, and around the horn, 5-4-3 double play. So Isringhausen gets A-Rod to bounce into two. One run on one hit, Jeter's home run. And now last lynch for the Rays against Mo. It's time to announce the Chevy Players of the Game as voted on by you, the fans, and the two of us here in the booth.
What it is, it's the two Phils. Phil Hughes came in, and his debut as a reliever this year was very impressive. Some of his best fastballs of the season, 95 miles an hour. And the other Phil Koch, striking out Carlos Pena. Nice changeup. Derek Jeter backing him up with a little flip and a little emotion. The two Phils, Chevy Players of the Game.
Couple of changes for the Yankees defensively. Brett Gardner takes over in center field, and Melky Cabrera moves from center to right. So Gabe Kapler is going to lead off against Rivera. It'll be 8-9-1 in the Rays order against Rivera. He got the save yesterday at 1-2-3 ninth. Pitches outside. He rebounded nicely after a rough Saturday where he came into a tie game and gave up 4 runs in the ninth and ended up losing the game. Yesterday a 1-2-3 save. So Kapler 1 for 3 tonight with a home run. And there's a strike. The comments by Evan Longoria were strong comments today in the paper where he said he's the best closer in the game. Is he what he used to be? He said, well, I just came into the league last year, but from what I could see, well, obviously nobody could be that great all the time. He said, but he's still the best closer in the game. Slow roller toward third, A-Rod Fields. And there's one away. Remember, after the final out, you have to keep it on yes for the Emmy Award-winning WB Mason postgame. Get a recap of the entire series against the Rays and a preview of the upcoming series against the Red Sox. It's the WB Mason postgame only on yes.
good looking sign right there, Michael, huh? Stands out. Seen some balls fly over that sign this year, too.
They're getting their money's worth viewing wise. Well, here's Matt Joyce. They send up the left-hander to pinch hit for Reed Brignat. So the Yankees trying to take another series and go 4-2 on this homestand. And also they would gain a half game on the idle Red Sox. Came into the day a half game ahead of Boston. So they'll go into that 3-game set up by 1 if they hold on. And the pitch to Joyce. Fouled away. You know, if you play the game and you look at the great closers in the game, K-Rod, Joe Nathan, Trevor Hoffman's having a renaissance season with the Milwaukee Brewers, Jonathan Papelbon. The best way to play that game is if your life depended on winning a game, who would you want there in the 9th inning? And I think the majority of baseball people might still say Mariano Rivera at the age of 39.
Just because of his consistency, you know exactly what you're getting with Mo, and maybe the best comfort level in terms of a closer for a manager of anybody in the league.
2-1. Lofted into right center field. Brett Gardner's there. And the Rays are down to their final out.
Michael, you just never see Mariano work himself into trouble. You never see him walk guys. You never see him run deep counts. He just is so consistent. You know exactly what you're getting from Mo. And yes, he will get beat up here and there. He'll give up a home run. But very rarely. And I tell you what, you talk about bouncing back. The last 2 days after getting beat up the other day against the Rays, pretty impressive bounce back for Mo.
Hey, each game is important, but one thing, if you want to look at a negative, they've used him now 3 days in a row. Would he be able to pitch 4 days in a row tomorrow night in Boston? They usually try to avoid that, but you know, you want to take care of this one first. Here's B.J. Upton. And he fouls it back. So the Yankees will try to go 11 games over 500. And with the Rangers losing 4-0 to the Blue Jays tonight in the bottom of the 6th, that would give them the best record in the American League. They're 1 out away. And the 0-1. 1-1. Andy Pettitte would get the win. It would be his team-leading 6th victory. Phil Hughes and Phil Coke play a huge role, a scoreless 7th and 8th. And now Rivera trying to nail down his 14th save of the year. The 1-1. Strike outside corner. And the Rays down to their final strike. Whispers across the outside corner. Caught that front corner there of the plate. Crowd of 44,706, most of them standing. Yankees looking to nail down a 5-3 victory. And the pitch. He struck him out. And the Yankees win 5-3. Rivera bounces back from a rough Saturday by going 1-2-3 Sunday and 1-2-3 tonight. This one a high fastball, and Upton simply